Heartiest welcome to Global Talk Show by Business Bar Academy, Netherlands. And today we have an amazing guest. She is going to enlighten this show. And trust me, folks, after watching this incredible life journey, your life is going to super change because this is going to be super awesome episode. So welcome Avil Beckford today to our show. It's a great privilege hosting you today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, before I take this lovely journey forward with my beautiful global audience, let me apprise about Avil. She is the founder of the Invisible Mentor, the Art of Learning Leadership Academy, and the podcast, The One Problem. So it's a great, amazing journey we are going to take a deep dive. And without taking any pause, let's start our journey. Well, Avil, we would love to know your incredible journey. Today, you are at such a great, awesome, at a successful position. How you achieved this, I am sure your life journey is going to motivate today millions of millions. So kindly enlighten your beautiful journey today.
Okay, so I was born in Jamaica. And the first time I ever traveled, I went to Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I went to university there. Then I lived in New York for just under 2 years. It was a little bit too fast for me. So I was gonna head back to Calgary, but I met folks who I'd known then they were in Toronto. And they said, why don't you give Toronto a chance? So the intent was to be in Toronto for 6 months, and it has been a couple decades. So I decided to make Toronto my home. So yeah, and so how I came to what I'm doing. So let me step back a little bit. I know you're going to ask later on, but it feeds into the story. So there are 3 core things I do. One is the One Problem podcast, and that's my way to give back. So female guests present a problem and they have 6 minutes to offer solution. I also teach senior level executives how to read in such a way to shave hours of their reading time. So instead of spending, let's say, 7 hours reading a book, they can, get through what they need in an hour or so. So how did I come to do that? My mother died unexpectedly from a heart attack in 2012. So my heart shattered into many pieces. And I thought that the only way for me to get through that was to do something that I love. And that something was reading. So I created a reading challenge for myself to read the world. So at the end of that challenge, I'd virtually visited 30 countries via the books I read. And that was very interesting for me. It taught me about intercultural awareness. Because even though there are differences, we're also very similar. But what I wanted to highlight was my journey from there to here. So one of the things when I was reading some of those nonfiction books during my Read the World to get over my grief, I kept on experiencing deja vu. Haven't I read this before? Haven't I read this before? So I decided that there had to be a better way of reading. And based on the research and going from there to where I am, that's how the training came about. Because as I learned more, and this is about, anyone can relate to this, but because it's about growing. You cannot stand still, you become stagnant. So it's part of my evolution based on what I learned. And it's interesting that one of the things I learned was that educator Russell Stover, he did research, and he found that on the average page of a nonfiction book, only 4 to 11% of the text carries meaning. So think about this, Dr. Supriya. You have a nonfiction book in your hand. You open it and you're looking at one page. That's about one sentence. Most of the information provides context and examples and stuff like that. So my question is, how much context do you need? Okay, how many examples? Sometimes you take up a business book and there are 20 case studies. Why do you need that? It's a waste of your time. We're all busy. So what I teach is reading strategically. So instead of taking a nonfiction book and reading from cover to cover, you preview the book to figure out which sections and chapters of the book are going to satisfy your needs at that point in time. So I had to explain this so you understand part of my journey and how I got to where I am now.
Great one. Avil, I must say that this life journey today, our global audience are keenly hearing. And after going through your incredible journey and your work, they are going to make their life a great, a better one and a transformed one. So thank you for so much for this great answer. You have really inspired people today with your incredible journey, and the work which you do is really fabulous. I will say to my global audience, those who want to really transform their life and they just want to get something better in their career, in their organization. So kindly contact Avil. She is going to super change your life and you are going to see a miracle in your life too. So let's take this journey on. And Avil, it's really nice to listen your inspiring, motivating journey. It has really inspired millions today. Great one. Well, Avil, I know the position on which you are today. It's very, when people will see you, they will say, wow, what a loveliest position. I want, this is my dream position. But in acquiring this position, you would have faced certain type of challenges in your life. So kindly enlighten, as a woman, what kind of challenges you had faced. And the most important thing is how you overcome those challenges. So that will be a great inspiring message for our female leaders also.
Okay, so part of my answer is not just directed at females. So first of all, I'm an introvert, and most people don't realize that. So I'm an introvert who has to function as an extrovert. So the challenge was I was often what you would call the best kept secret because, I stepped back because who I was. Then I realized that you cannot, yes, there's lots of talk about, introversion and all of that. But the reality is that you need to step out so people can hear your voice. So at different stages throughout my life, one of the things that I've done is to interview people. So people get to know me through interviewing. So I've also had to figure out ways to put myself forward, but doing it in a way that's comfortable and makes sense to me. So even though I've done stuff to gain more visibility, I also write a lot, like on my blog, I write about things and, I get visibility that way. But also, like, it took me a while to get in front of the camera because, that video is all the rage. So I started my podcast to force myself, it's video recorded, to force myself to show up, to be in front of the camera. So when you challenge yourself in those ways, it helps you to get the visibility you deserve. that would make a difference in your career. So I guess a big part of the answer is, how do you get people to see you? And that's also a woman issue. And, sometimes you don't get invited to the table. And I say to you, don't wait for people to invite you to the table. You invite yourself. And if it's not possible for you to invite yourself to the table, you build your own table and then invite who you want to your table, right? I created my podcast and people do contact me wanting to be on my podcast. So there are always ways in which you can navigate a system. Sometimes it just means you have to be a little bit more creative in what you do.
Awesome. This is really awesome, Avil. And really, I love the way you inspired, create your own table. Yes, most of the time we get hurted when we are not invited and we get demoralized. Why me? But after listening to you, I just remembered, why me? It's not, try me, the life which you say. So that's really great. And this is super amazing when you create your own identity, whether you are a male or a female. And that shows your self-esteem, your self-respect. And that is above all. So thank you so much, Avil, for this great answer. And after listening to your challenges, I will say only one thing. Success, your success is to flow like water through a road of rocks. How many challenges you had faced, but at last you proved never ever give up on your dreams. Keep moving on and you will accomplish what you want in your life. So hats off to you for really brilliantly handling your all hurdles of life. Well, moving on this global talk show with Avil Beckford, I would love to know what is Avil's mission, what she has planned for her future, and how she is going to make humanity leveraging her coaching programs. Let's enlighten. Yeah.
Okay, so most of the things I do now revolve around training, around reading, and that's important. Now, someone like Oprah Winfrey, she has said that reading helped to lift her out of poverty. And I do believe that. It doesn't matter what you're trying to figure out, there's always a book for that. I cannot remember a time in my life when I didn't enjoy reading. I remember when I was going to high school and I got my allowance, or in some countries they call it pocket money. I would use it to buy magazines and books. That's how I spent my money. So part of my mission is to get more people reading a book each week. And a bigger part of the mission, there's lots of stuff in the world that should concern us. Gender parity, lack of clean water, and global poverty. There's tons of them, climate change, all kind of stuff. A lot of times we don't understand the issues, right? You have people telling us, but we need to understand for ourselves. So I might suggest that one way to understand the issues is to read 5 different books about the thing that's important to your cause, just to get a foundation so you can understand the issue. And don't be reading the 5 books from one author, okay? You want different perspectives. Read the information from different countries as well, different authors, so you have a more rounded perspective. So that is part of my mission. And that's the way I see we can come together to start figuring out ways to address some of these global issues.
Awesome. This is really great, Avil. And I wish you all the best. Heartfelt wishes to you for your great mission and vision. It's really, really great that you're keeping such a high one and you are continuously and consistently moving on in your dreams and your vision and your mission, which you have. And I will say only one thing, your firmness of mind and promptness of action leads to success, Avil. May God bless you with lots and lots of success, laurels on your way. So hats off to your mission, hats off to your vision. It's really, really inspiring. Well,
Thank you.
before I say a goodbye to Avil and my global audience who are really loving us, supporting us, bombarding us with lots and beautiful comments, I would love to know what Avil wants to deliver, beautiful, powerful message for my global audience. Your lovely message awaiting, Avil.
Okay, so if I have some parting words, it would be read, okay? If you're not a reader, start off with something you're passionate about. If you love cars, read a comic book about cars. There's a comic book for everything, and comic books started out dealing with serious issues. Read a children's book. Start off with something you love, and then you will understand the power of the written word and the power of the books. So I just say start reading. That's my parting message.
Wow, this is really great message, powerful message, because yes, reading will enhance your skills. Not only it will just give you a lot of knowledge, but also it will give you a very beautiful hobby, because reading, I love reading. When you read, you engross some knowledge. When you read, you become powerful. When you read, you open your mind. And when you read, you open your mind, body, and soul. So that's the loveliest message from Avil Beckford. And I hope the people who are watching, global audience who are watching us, they are going to take n number of key takeaways, because Avil, every answer is full of power-packed, some message, some moral of your life. And that's reflecting a powerful, sculptured personality. So once again, thank you so much, Avil, for coming to our show and sparing a loveliest time and enriching, enlightening everyone who watched you today. And I know you are super busy, you have to go for another meeting, but still heartfelt gratitude to you for accepting our invitation. Thank you so much, Avil. It's great to be
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, global audience. Keep inspiring us, keep motivating us with your love, keep showering your blessings. Till then, stay happy, hale and hearty. Bye-bye for now.